Yeah, I fucking changed it and it didn't do it. Oh, okay, there we go. Now it's good. Well, just double check it though on your phone. Make sure it looks like it's supposed to.
Did you already?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's horizontal?
Nah, it's
Okay. Let's
yeah, horizontal. Yeah.
All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the other apostles of the millstone who were well. Salutation and much love to the Akim out there, preaching out this word in truth and sincerity. Brothers from Great Millstone Tampa back with another lesson. Lord's will is going to be edifying to the hopeful elect. And this is episode 7, and I entitled it The Bridge for the MOTB. I think that's what I call it, right?
Yeah, for the market.
Yeah. So again, we're back at it, showing you how all this is going to tie to this, what's going on, with the economies worldwide. And then got some articles and, so I got a video. I'm going to play like 12 minutes of it, but I'm going to fast forward it. Because, it's all showing you how the market of beasts is going to be worldwide. Matter of fact, we'll start on that. Revelation chapter 3.
Always bring it out.
Revelation 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Let's see what the word there for world is. Did I pass it?
No,
oh, come on, okay.
No,
all
no.
the world. Oikumene, okay? Many the whole inhabited earth. And how? Well, again, episode 7 now. We're going to show you what the bridge is. How all the CBDCs, stable coins, whatever you want to call it, digital money, okay? The cashless society is coming very quickly. It's all going to be interacted through these blockchains, which have already been set up. But there's one in particular that's in perfect position for what's happening geopolitically right now with things like Russia and all. Well, I'll just let this nigga say it. Seizing 120 billion.
This is about whether the two Europe.
All right, and they're fucked right now. Let me speed this up though. Are you got a precept or anything before I play it?
No, I was just gonna go into like what a blockchain, but go back to episode 1.
Yeah. If you don't know what a blockchain is now, shit, or just Google it. Ask ChatGPT. Just know that would be the railroad, so to say, but chiefly it'll be the XRP ledger, which is the blockchain. That's what's gonna move the most cross-border interactions, global transactions, And there'll be other blockchains that people will use on a daily basis, but where the trillions and the billions, the trillions, and the quadrillions is going to go through is going to be the XRP ledger, and we're going to. At this point, we're at 7 episodes in, bringing you more and more articles every time, and asking chat or AI to answer these questions. So let me just let this guy speak, because this is what Russia and China are doing, which they're part of the BRICS nations, and we're going to show you later in the chat where all that ties into what we're talking about.
Seized $105 billion from Russia to fund Ukraine. Russia nationalized $120 billion in European corporate assets. Siemens, Volkswagen, Shell, 30 years of investment, gone. And that was just the opening move. I want to show you how Europe just committed one of the most catastrophic strategic blunders in modern economic history. Not because the idea was wrong in principle, but because they fundamentally misunderstood who had more to lose. They thought they were wielding a financial weapon. Instead, they handed Russia a roadmap for destroying European economic credibility. And Russia didn't just follow the roadmap, they improved it. Let me take you back to February 2024. Brussels was under enormous pressure. The war in Ukraine was grinding through its 3rd year. Ukraine needed money. European voters were growing tired of writing checks.
Yeah, so again, get Ezekiel 3. We're tying all of this together, how the market of beasts is being set up. The infrastructure is, as we speak, it's already set, really. The infrastructure, the MOTB bridge, the rails, whatever you want to call it, it's already in place. They're just waiting to flip the switch at this point. And we're going to show you a few things that are coming very soon in this month or in the first quarter of 2026 that is going to help expedite what we've been talking about. And it's only once this is because fiat currency is pretty much done. All right. So is paper. Anything paper is done with paper, silver, all these commodities people trade on the exchange, that's coming to an end. We're going again. We spoke about it a little bit last time. China's holding silver and other commodities that I pulled. A matter of fact, it's not just silver they're holding. And look, they're the critical. They own the majority of or produce it. Majority of these critical minerals. China does gallium, and I'm gonna show you what these minerals are used for. That's why they're starting to seize them, or not seize them, but just ban the exports.
Yeah, like to take hold of them.
Yep.
You know, so they, like you say with the exports.
Well, let me just show that list real quick. It says China has imposed restrictions or bans on exports for several critical minerals, including gallium, germanium, antimony, tungsten, and graphite. And again, that was they're the number one producers of a lot of those. You know, graphite, they're the top ones. Look at that, almost 98% of the world's production. Just like they produced, I think it was like 60 to 80% of silver to use it. You know, not just a block of silver. No, they prepare. I think it was 60 to 80% of that silver that's used in different technologies. It says used in high tech and defense applications. So of course they would start holding these things which are used in defense, okay, and semiconductor applications like semiconductors, EVs, electric vehicles, and military gear, often as retaliation in trade disputes. And haven't America been putting hella tariffs on them?
Yeah.
And so this has been going on for a while. It says though some curbs have recently eased or shifted as of late 2025, early 2026. They also control key key rare earths minerals or the metals, right? Restricting exports of some elements like holmium, erbium, thulium, europium, and witterbium. But these are all man-made ones. But again, silver, we know silver is at the top because that's the one that I'll read it. It says key minerals affected, the gallium and the germanium, essential for semiconductors and defense tech. And again, those two things, well, they're the top producers in the gallium number one, and what was the other one? Germanium. Let's see where that's at. Okay, so probably the top one's Germany. If it's called after germanium, but nonetheless, the one at the very 98% is produced in China of the gallium. All right, antimony used in flame retardant, solar tech, and munitions, bombs. Yeah. Tungsten used in defense, armor piercing rounds. Why do you think they're all of a sudden not giving this away? Because they're about to need it to go to war. In high melting point applications, graphite, crucial for EV batteries and nuclear reactors. Rare earths, China controls most of the supply. Restrictions expanded to include holmium and so on and so forth. Silver recently put under similar strategic controls as earth metals. So, yeah, I just read a little more. Well, you know what? Because the chat's going to bring back, we're going to get back into that anyway.
Because they learn how to use those different minerals, all right, to make those different, defense systems, all right? Because they know, like you say, they're getting ready to gear up to go to war, all right? You see it going all around Taiwan, all right? So they're letting you know, like, hey, they telling, with the boldness to U.S., like, if y'all, I think he said, if you shoot first or whatever, we'll be the one to finish it.
China, yeah.
China said that. It was like a couple months back.
Yeah,
man. But showing you that, man, hey, man, they're gearing up, man, because this is the time of the Lord bringing in the World War III, man.
And the shit with Iran, they're talking about, they're killing the peaceful protesters. Oh, that's all bullshit propaganda. But nonetheless, hey, that's something we've been looking for. Because if you go back to a few episodes, we mentioned it about the oil spike. That's going to be another catalyst.
Oh yeah.
So if they close the Strait of Hormuz. And and look what's going on in Venezuela already. And, it's about to spike oil, just like silver and gold are spiking. Why? Because of the things we're about to show you. Gold and silver are spiking because of there's no. It's going to break it down later in Chat, because ChatGPT is going to make it super. We're tying all of this together to show you how they're about to bring the hour of temptation, because they're setting it up. But again, the infrastructure, the AI, it's already there. They just need to put it completely, turn it on, go live with it, so to say. Like in the Terminator, Skynet, pretty much is about to go live, where AI is going to control all the blockchains and everything's going to be digital. Because even gold and silver is being tokenized, which it's going to explain that in the chat. So now that these countries are holding all this gold and silver, how can you how can you back something with gold or silver? Well, it has to be tokenized so it can be moved digitally. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So again, this is where's the tokens gonna go on? Where are they gonna be moved to? So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
So and again, this is just another catalyst that I want to show.
Someone in Brussels.
Because of the economy. Oh, you got that Ezekiel? Get that first.
Yeah. Well, the Watchman or
yeah. Just get the maybe you a Watchman unto the nation or something like that.
This is the book of Ezekiel 3 and verse 17. It says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel."
Yeah, so that we're warning them because the hell with all these other people. Yeah. And this is for to warn the house of Israel to repent because of what's coming. Well, all these things taking place around the world that most people have no idea about is about to lead to a famine here. Okay, things prices are about to go through the roof when they stop using this U.S. dollar as a petrodollar or through SWIFT. So you need somehow you still have to use the USD to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. When that's done with, and then move to this new chapter where it's gonna be ran mainly off of the XRP blockchain or the XRP ledger blockchain, that's going to cause an increase in the inflation. Yeah. It ain't just going to be because, the money's just done away with. The US dollar don't exist. No, it's just going to be digital, but it's still going to have less value because it's not being used like it was no more to deliver these transfers, because if you're doing any kind of trading worldwide or cross border, you need to use the USD currently. But you got the BRICS, de-dollarization. They've been using their own currency, getting all this gold and silver. Well, again, that's why they're going to tokenize it, though. Yeah. So it's still going to be digital. Real soon, if you can have, which most people don't own the gold, they just buy the paper silver, the paper gold. Mm-hmm. So you, in theory, own it. But it's the same thing with crypto. Yeah, you can buy the crypto, but if it's on the exchange, you don't own it.
Exactly.
So if the exchange goes down, whether it's gold, silver, crypto, and it's on the exchange, you don't own it. You can't access it. So would you go to the grocery store and leave the groceries there and like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I bought the groceries, but I just leave them at the grocery store. That doesn't make sense. But again, let me just read a little bit of this. It says tokenization and this is from last month, and this is on rwa.io. So real world assets. Yep. Tokenization is changing the game for precious metals like gold and silver and diamonds by converting these physical assets into digital tokens. See, you're gonna. So the bank, that's the average person is not gonna tokenize that goddamn thing. No. But the people that are holding the gold and the silver, they're gonna tokenize it, and then they can hold it. They don't have to send it like they're doing now. You don't have to send it, or because if you buy those contracts or the paper silver as they call it, you can cash that in, but then they have to send you the gold or the silver, and that who knows how long that's going to take. It's going to go through different banks, the transactions. Now they'll just be able to instantly send you that digital token of silver or gold, and boom, it's on in seconds. You have it, and if you want, you can go to the people that have the gold and turn it in for the digital coin. So it's just going to change the whole way the society is run, through the economy all the way up till it gets to you. Both rich, poor. It's going to start with the macro economy, but eventually you're going to have to be digital. You're going to have to be tokenized, and to access your money, you're going to these tokenized assets, or even your money, whether they call it stable coin or CBDC, whatever bullshit they're going to give you with that UBI. To access that, eventually you're going to need a chip. You're going to have to be put into this new digital system that they're currently setting up. And again, they're using these catalysts with war, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But it says, investors can now own a piece of high value commodities without needing to buy an entire bar of coins. Yeah, because you through crypto and tokenization, you can bring it down to fractions. Yep. To the hundreds of thousands of places, which that's a scheme in itself. But that's what the banks did with your money. But anyway, this new approach not only makes investing more accessible, but also brings in benefits like transparency, because it's on the blockchain, and lower costs because it's going to be using the crypto or the whatever coin, because the XRP ledger is a blockchain, but what it's tied to, what runs on that blockchain, the XRP, the actual coin. It says, as we explore the tokenization of precious metals, we'll uncover how it works, blah, blah, blah. So I'll just read this part. Gold and silver. Well, let me read this because tokenization allows fractional ownership of precious metals. So you're not going to need just to buy an ounce or a pound of it. No, you're going to get digitally, you'll be able to get fractions of it and actually own it because it's tokenized, making them accessible to smaller investors. Blockchain, here we go. What blockchain is going to be specifically used? Well, stay tuned. Blockchain, well, shit, by now you should know, episode 7, but blockchain technology enhances transparency and security in the trading of tokenized assets, because it's all public. Gold and silver tokenization is gaining traction with significant market interest and institutional involvement. Tokenized diamonds offer new investors. So everything, a lot of things, art, cars, houses, everything's about to be tokenized. And if it's not tokenized, you don't own it in the eyes of what's coming. Everything's gonna have to be tokenized. Because so like that, it can be traded as a commodity, on the blockchain, which this is where the world's going. So let's play a little more of this guy.
$5 billion in assets frozen in European financial institutions, central bank reserves, sovereign wealth fund holdings.
Oh, yeah, let's finish that here.
Yeah, so I got the Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
Yeah. And so since we're being the watchman, we can see this. We're watching to see what Esau's doing around the world. And we're using his own technology, against him to spy on his ass.
Exactly.
We're spying on, because, collectively brothers are watching everything, all kind of events unfolding or topics. Collectively, we covering it all. Because why we're actually watching, while people are watching bullshit on the internet, we're actually trying to learn what's going on, or really just to see it coming, because we already knew it was coming. Now it's unfolding because it was for an appointed time, and they're speaking.
That's right.
We're showing you the proof. If you can't see that it's speaking, you just wait until it trickles down to you, and that by that point you're gonna be in a tough position.
Come and read this in NLT.
Okay.
It reads Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel. Whenever you receive a message from me, warn people immediately.
Yep. And that's what we did. We went out to the watchtowers and started blowing the trumpet. Danger, danger. But they can't. The people are too distracted by the bread and circus that they don't care. They're belligerent,
Out here jump on philosophies and everything, man. And here it is, like the Lord it have appointed us, all right, as the watchmen of Israel, all right. You was going into it. We blowing out the trumpet, man. All right, giving y'all the warning, telling you the things that is to come. All right, because how we going into the different events that's leading up, we're telling you that it's getting ready to speed up, especially in the year 2026. Yeah. That's why he says warn people immediately. It's not a thing for us to just sit on our ass and not do anything. No, this is the job the Lord has appointed us to do, man. To go through these different videos, to keep giving you the warning, man. Because it's coming a day that you're going to wake up and everything is going to be changed.
Yeah, exactly. It could happen overnight one day.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. Why not seize them, use them to fund Ukraine, punish Russia, solve the funding problem? No domestic tax increases needed. The legal justification was created, to put it diplomatically.
Right. So pretty much what he's going into is what happened during Ukraine, or when they first started invading them. A couple of years later, these different European nations, the beast, froze a lot of. Well, there's $120 billion that belong to Russia, but that ends up backfiring on them. You're gonna explain it.
The conflict is standard. Actually confiscating them and transferring ownership, that's unprecedented for a major economy's sovereign reserves. But European lawyers
and he's not a crypto guy. This guy's not a crypto guy. He's just a frontline fan guy. he reports on, but he really what he's about to explain is what XRP was created for, to solve the issue for. What he's about to explain is the reason XRP is going to be used. He doesn't say that though, but we can put two and two together. Problem, reaction, solution. Order out of chaos. While Ripple been going around all the world. Last video we showed you how many banks are tied in. To it.
300 plus. Yeah.
So while they've been doing all this, setting up in different banks and institutions, here it is. The problem was being made. Yep. And they've been doing this for over a decade. You know, they've been doing work. Ripple's been around since 2012, I believe, but they really started putting in work in that 2014 time frame. Okay, which we could remember that time frame, 2014. Let me see. Because again, 2014, what happened during 2014? Well, we're gonna get to it, but here I asked it about. Okay, so hold on, maybe I gotta go forward. Okay, yeah, because it wasn't showing it for some reason. So I typed in other potential factors. It says about China holding the silver. Starting January 1st, China requires special government licenses for countries to export silver, effectively limiting supply and placing it on the same regulatory footing of rare earth metals. But so I'm just going to hit this point right here. Structural supply deficits. Like global silver demand has exceeded supply for 5 consecutive years. Yeah, because again, the paper silver. You didn't have to technically have the silver. You know what I'm saying? It's a scheme. Anyway, it says leading to a significant market deficit and the depletion of inventories in major vaults like the COMEX. All right, remember that. We're gonna come back to that later on. All right, and it makes sense now because if you've been looking into the XRP like we have, you know about the bear and the little paintings by now, the little cartoon, and they always got a certain number, 589, that they always use. Right. Well, I've come across with that. I'm not saying that's what they mean by it, but COMEX has that tied into it. Matter of fact, let me just show it to you, and then we'll get back to that video. Because, the little bear always got that number. They always putting that out there. COMEX rule 589. It's actual documents, which we're going to get to. COMEX rule 589 governs special price fluctuation. And what's happening with price right now with silver? This was invented for. And what time period did they invent it? I think we gotta go to. Okay, hold on. They got a website here. I know they had a website. Look, the official website. Where is it? Is this it? Oh no, maybe it was at the.
Oh, maybe talking about when it's effective.
Okay, here it is. Yeah, here it is. There's a PDF of it.
Oh, Scribe. Yep.
Nah, this is not the one. Okay, is this the one? Nah, this is just the update of it. Hold on. I know. I find it. Maybe this is what implication. Nah, this is definitely not it.
Nah.
I thought it was like the legit, the official web. Oh, maybe it's this CME. Yeah, maybe it was this one. CME. But yeah, look, rule 589, and like COMEX, it was effective. That's when it started, but I don't remember reading it somewhere. Anyway, we'll come back to it. See, the amendments were made in 2022, but anyway, let me just go back. So I'm just gonna read because we're gonna get more into it. So pretty much this is what it does. It's a limiter implementing temporary trading holds, so they can just stop trading, usually 5 seconds in futures contracts, particularly during final settlement period of expiring contracts, to manage extreme price volatility. And that's what's going to be happening with the silver and gold. And what does this apply to? It says, and ensure fair price discovery applying to primary metals and associated products on CME Group and other exchanges. It prevents sudden large price swings by halting trading when triggers occur, enhancing market stability. So pretty much this was made to stop price manipulation and shit like that. Specifically for metals. So this is going to come in 589. So this is going to be activated soon. Let me just type in created.
And this is only for silver, or just all?
Nah, it's for all metals.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
see, look, here it is, 2014.
2014.
Oh, maybe it's around there, but
okay, because I remember when it was with gold.
Initial implementation, 2014. Yep.
I remember when it was with gold. I think it was like last year, and it just kept rising up and up and up, and then they just shut the whole thing down.
So this is why because of Rule 589. So maybe that's why they use it for crypto or XRP, because eventually that's just gonna help.
The fluctuation.
Yeah. But that ain't gonna affect XRP though, because that ain't a metal.
Yeah, exactly.
A pathway. The announcement came in March 2024.
Well, they're gonna want you to be focused on the markets. Oh my ding. The shit is going chaotic.
Damn.
And then nobody's gonna know that's gonna be applied. They're just gonna be like, "What's going on? Why can't I trade?"
Shit blocked off.
Dollars in Russian state assets would be seized and transferred to Ukraine for reconstruction. The initial reaction was triumphant. European leaders called it innovative economic statecraft. Financial newspapers praised the boldness. Ukraine celebrated. The narrative was simple. Russia will pay for its own war with money it can't defend. And for about 2 weeks, it looked like a masterstroke. Then Moscow responded, not with angry statements or diplomatic protests, with 3 moves so calculated, so devastating, that European finance ministers are still trying to understand.
Yeah, this is why the BRICS nations has become so powerful. They seized all that money, but Russia didn't even care. And this is why.
Move 1. Russia announced the nationalization of all European corporate assets on Russian territory. Not suspension of operations, not temporary seizure, permanent nationalization. The value, $120 billion, more than Europe had seized. Let me make this concrete because the human cost gets lost in aggregate numbers. Volkswagen had been operating in Russia since the 1990s. They built factories, developed supply chains, trained workers, invested billions. In some Russian cities, VW plants were the largest employers. 30 years.
Yeah, so pretty much what they did is they just seized all European companies inside of Russia. Now it's ours, bitch. And what you gonna do about it?
Years of patient investment, thousands of jobs created, relationships built, all of it gone. The Russian government took the factories, the equipment, the intellectual property. Volkswagen's Russian subsidiary simply ceased to exist as a German company. Siemens faced the same fate. They'd installed power infrastructure across Russia, built rail systems, supplied industrial equipment. Russia didn't just take the physical assets, they took the maintenance contracts, the spare parts inventory, the service agreements. Decades of market position eliminated overnight. Shell was even worse. They had major stakes in Russian energy projects. Sakhalin 2, Arctic LNG, joint ventures with Gazprom worth tens of billions. Russia national.
Why did they do that? Because they know they're at war. You know, they're about to go to soon. Shit, they've been talking about this for a while, that the EU needs to come in and help Ukraine, and they're scared that Russia might charge one of their countries. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Shit. But you think the average person doesn't know this because they're not watching. But we're here to watch for you and give you the warning. You know, now we're going into details of it, but this is leading to the end of America. The economy is gonna crash. It's gonna be through. Then they're gonna have a saving grace where people are gonna be begging for handouts. You know, but people will still be working. You know, it ain't just gonna come to a screeching halt. That'll be the day the Lord returns.
Right.
Like instead of days of Noah, people gonna be buying and selling. It'll be given in the matter of fact, get that real quick. But these are the things that are rolling out. So these is prophecies, pretty much. You know, these are prophecies unfolding. We're just able to see it detailed. You know, some people, they could just know about the prophecy. We're able to, you know, break it down and show you. With the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, Bashim Chakadash. That's how we've been able to do it. It's not like one. Oh yeah. No, we're able to tie. This nigga's an expert on this economy, and with Russia and China. There's another guy that's an expert on crypto. There's another guy that's expert on military strategies. We were able to watch them all and put it together and show you in the Bible. You know,
doing the Revelation 13 and 16, and it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." All right, you go into that word causeth, it goes into poieo. All right, it goes into to make ready, to prepare. All right, and as you see, the priest was just going into all these different sectors, subjects. All right, that you see that's happening all around the world. It's all leading, okay, into Esau Edom. All right, gearing the world into one direction. Okay,
the beast system.
The beast system, exactly. All right, and if you're not inside this beast system, you're not going to be able to buy or sell.
This is the image of the beast, man, the New World Order. And guess what's part of that? The AI, the digital currencies, the blockchains, and that's what he's setting up. And if you don't get with that, you're gonna be completely ousted. Whether you're a country, these niggas say countries are embargoes. Nah, man, it's gonna get the actual mark itself will be the implantable device or the implantable payment technology, whatever they're gonna call it. But this is the actual system that's being set up that's gonna allow for that mark to even work in the first place. Exactly. The system has to be in place before they start chipping people. Because then you will have no other choice except for the elect. Exactly. The elect are gonna have the only ones that are gonna have a choice. And that's to serve Yahweh Bashim outside. Choose you this day who you will serve. These people is already serving the beast in his, worshiping the beast in his image.
It's gonna be easy.
So what's the next part? It's to take the mark.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
So that's the society that's being built right now through all these events that are taking place worldwide, and with the technology this devil's making.
Is every foreign share. Shell went from equity partner to nothing without receiving a single ruble in compensation. And it wasn't just the big names. Hundreds of European companies, from mid-sized manufacturers to service providers, discovered their Russian operations had been confiscated. Danone lost dairy plants, Carlsberg lost breweries, Auchan lost retail operations. The list went on. Every European company that had invested in Russia over 3 decades woke up to find their assets belonged to someone else. The immediate corporate losses were staggering. But the strategic consequences were worse because Russia didn't keep those assets idle. They sold them to Chinese companies at massive discounts. Think about what that means. European firms spent 30 years building market share in Russia, understanding local customers, developing distribution networks, training workforces. That knowledge, that market position, it can't be rebuilt quickly. It represents competitive advantage earned through decades of patient investment. Russia handed all of it to Chinese competitors for a fraction of its real value. Volkswagen's Russian market share didn't evaporate. It transferred to Chinese automakers who bought the factories and kept producing. Shell's energy projects didn't stop. They continued under Chinese ownership. Siemens's contracts didn't get cancelled. Chinese industrial firms took them over. Europe lost 30 years of investment and market position. China gained it in months. But Russia's retaliation didn't.
That's one of the reasons Europe's doing terrible economy right now. They're doing terrible out there. And they're used, so they get a lot of their shit from Russia. So it ain't looking too good for the beast.
Yep.
The beast is withering away. It's only the whore that got still trying to ride the goddamn horse, and the horse is about to give up the ghost.
You tired.
He's about to buck and kick her off. Shit.
Right.
Stop with nationalization. Move 2 was subtler, but potentially more damaging long term. Russia announced that all energy exports, all commodity sales, would only be settled in rubles or yuan. No euros accepted. Period. Now, you might think this would isolate Russia from global trade. Europe assumed it would. The entire Western financial system runs on dollars and euros. If Russia
This is where the XRP comes in.
rejected euros, surely their customers would refuse to deal in rubles. Surely India, China.
Because through XRP, it doesn't matter what currency you use, because it converts it to whatever you need to move it to. Whether it's gold, it'll convert it all. All the tokenization, all that, anything tokenized will just be converted through XRP in the blockchain. Then it'd be converted to whatever they needed to be on the buyer side.
Turkey, the major buyers of Russian energy, would demand traditional currency settlements. They didn't refuse. They quietly switched. India set up ruble-rupee payment mechanisms. China was already using yuan for Russian transactions and expanded it. Turkey created similar bilateral arrangements. Within months, Russia was conducting the majority of its international trade without touching euros. Practical implication? Europe's economic sanctions, which depended on Russia needing access to euro-denominated finance, became far less effective. The leverage evaporated, but the signal to the world was even more significant. If Russia can trade with major economies without using Western currencies, what does that say about dollar and euro dominance? What does it say about the necessity of the Western financial system?
Yeah, the beast is falling, man. You know, the beast is being broken down financially. And once that dollar is completely gone, that's when people are gonna feel it. You don't have to know that this is going on, but when that fucking carton of eggs skyrocket again, and your gas is right back up at $5, and it's gonna get more, yeah. But yeah, things about to get the dollar's being devalued, so you're gonna need more of it. And then that's like, look, burn your fucking dollar bills, because you're gonna need like 300 just to get a goddamn slice of bread. You know, they're not gonna print more money, $1 million bill.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't Zimbabwe. Shit. They just gonna tell you need digital currency. Because with that, you can use fractions of the tokens. You know, you can't break that. They stopped making pennies. That was the lowest you could go, right? In your bank account, it only got 2 digits after that. Yep. You know, your balance. You got $38.72. But now you're gonna have 0.00002.
coins.
Yeah. People think we're making this shit up, but this is the system that they have created already. It's already real. It's called cryptocurrency. It's not a maybe. And what they're trying to explain to you is XRP is not one of those cryptocurrencies. It's being disguised as one currently, so they can buy it cheap. But it's an infrastructure that just so happens to have a crypto coin tied to it,
right?
Which is XRP. But the ledger is the blockchain. That's the important part, which you will see when we get into it.
So it's optional, not ideal perhaps, but absolutely optional for countries willing to create alternatives. Then came move 3, and this is the one that keeps European central bankers awake at night. Russia, together with BRICS partners, announced the creation of a $150 billion BRICS Plus reserve fund. The explicit purpose: provide seizure-proof custody for member countries' reserves. Let me explain why this matters. Central banks hold foreign reserves for trade settlement and crisis management. Traditionally, those reserves are held in dollars and euros because they're liquid, stable, and accepted everywhere. But those reserves are held in Western financial institutions, New York banks, London clearinghouses, Frankfurt accounts, which means they can be frozen or seized if Western governments decide to do so. Russia demonstrated this vulnerability. One day, your reserves are accessible. The next day, they're frozen. The day after that, they're confiscated and given to someone else. For any country watching, the lesson was terrifying. Your reserves are only yours until a Western government decides that.
See, that's what we're saying. So there needs a solution for all this, because they're freezing their accounts. Here it is, another country freezing your account.
And you see that's happening, with certain cryptos that going over there and they're confiscating and saying that they're using it from fraud and all that.
Yeah, that's how America got theirs. They say, oh, this is all just like they do drug dealer cars. They get them cheap. Well, that's what they did with Bitcoin, the reserve. But hey, Bitcoin, that was a trial run, man.
Definitely.
They're not. The BRICS Plus Reserve Fund offers an alternative, held outside Western jurisdiction, structured specifically to be seizure-proof, not denominated in dollars or euros. For countries where...
And that's what's going to make XRP perfect for the solution for all this. Especially when all the countries go to war, they need something that's not tied to a specific coin or a specific nation's coin, like a stable coin or CBDC.
Financial weaponization, it's exactly what they needed. And within weeks of the announcement...
Which that's a form of war, financial weaponization. Mm-hmm. Which now you can call it commodity war. Mm-hmm. When they're holding it and now they're not going to trade or export it.
Dozens of nations quietly began exploring participation. Saudi Arabia inquired about joining, not because they're anti-Western, because they have $600 billion in reserves, and they just watched $105 billion get confiscated from another major oil exporter. If it can happen to Russia, why not to them? Mm-hmm. What if a future US administration decides Saudi oil policy isn't aligned with American interests? Can they wake up one morning to find their reserves?
Which I did a video yesterday showing that Russia is backing Saudi Arabia against the UAE and Yemen. And guess who UAE's buddies with the small hatters. So again, more division in the Middle East. Russia back in Saudi Arabia, and guess what? After the Saudi Arabia said, "Look, if y'all don't get out of Yemen, we're gonna bomb you niggas." They left quick.
Seized. Singapore.
Just more wars and rumors of wars.
World's most sophisticated financial centers.
He mentioned Singapore. We went into, I think, episode 2 or 3. How Singapore, guess who was already up in there? Ripple. Matter of fact, let's go Google that again. Singapore excerpt. I'm just going to type in Singapore Ripple. Ripple wins broader Singapore license as MAS clears expansion of digital payment services a month ago. Let's get something more current. Because that was last month. I remember we spoke on that. Ripple's new firm, SBI, Singapore bank, I guess, venture looks to offer XRP yields to bank and funds. So they're already using it. The banks over there are already using it. I'm telling you. See, the only Muppets that don't know what's going on is you people here in America. Why? Because the Clarity Act hasn't come yet. Mm-hmm. Then trust and believe. Lord's will gets passed, which is still got to go to the Senate. They got to sign it. So let's see if they do it the 15th. Then it goes to the president, which, hey, Lord's will, they expedite it. Because that's when people are gonna start to know about crypto in your government and for your life, because it's already being set up around the world. You see, these banks are already using it. Just wait till the banks here in America get the green light to use it, which hence the Clarity Act. which we've gone into it last couple of episodes, but we're gonna mention it again later for the Chat GPT.
Started asking the same questions. Their entire business model depends on being a safe, neutral haven for international.
He's talking about Singapore right here. Let me run it back a couple seconds.
U.S. administration decides Saudi oil policy isn't aligned with American interests. Can they wake up one morning to find their reserves seized? Singapore, one of the world's most sophisticated financial centers, started asking the same questions. Their entire business model depends on being a safe, neutral haven for international capital. But if Western financial systems seize sovereign reserves based on political decisions, is anywhere truly safe? They began diversifying.
That's where the blockchains are going to come into play. That's the only be the way to get around the U.S. dollar, and that's why all these nations are adopting it as we speak.
Excellent. The original neutral financial haven.
America's you think they playing stupid? They know exactly. These niggas know exactly what they do in the Senate, and these Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk. They don't want you to know about it in the U.S. just yet. Because then by the time you know, it's gonna be too late. Them prices are gonna be skyrocketing. All crypto is gonna be skyrocketing, and then a lot of them is just gonna be destroyed because they have no value or no function, no utility. They're just gonna the little Pepe coin, zero. Niggas killing themselves because they lost it all overnight. Jumping out of windows.
Swiss banks held some of the frozen Russian assets. The Swiss government participated in the sanctions regime. For centuries, Switzerland's value proposition was absolute neutrality and discretion. That reputation took a hit. If Switzerland freezes Russian central bank reserves, what does Swiss neutrality mean? The capital flight started almost immediately, not dramatic sell-offs that make headlines. Quiet portfolio adjustments, reserve managers.
See, people don't know this is happening. What is happening? The people that know, and that ain't the average person. These big institutions, these niggas with billions, money that you don't even know exists, they know this shit is going down. So that's why they're reallocating, their money, moving their money around. Governments holding certain things because they know the U.S. dollar is done.
And also, too, you got Warren Buffett. He just resigned.
He did, yep. He gracefully bowed out.
So he see what's coming.
He cashed out. But why? It's because he's going to reallocate to the tokenization.
Another whole world is coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get this right quick. Okay. It's the book of Habakkuk 2 and straight to the point, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. All right, and the vision, all right, that's appointed for this time. All right, we're going into what? The Revelation 13, man, in verse 16 through 18. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. All right, so what's not lying? Just as you see, we're going through the different articles, all right, these different videos. All right, it's not lying. How can you refute, all right, Revelation 13, 16 through 18, and we got all the different videos and articles, all right, to support it. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right. And this thing is not tarrying, man. It's here. Okay. It's only going to increase from now on, man. All right. But that's just quick.
Now speaking shit loud and clear.
Beijing, Singapore, they started reducing euro allocations, not to zero, but from maybe 20% of reserves to 15%, from 15% to 10%. Measured as percentages, it seems small. Measured in absolute terms, we're talking hundreds of billions moving out of euro-denominated assets. And when that much capital moves, effects ripple through the system. Euro depreciated despite European Central Bank intervention. Borrowing costs for EU governments increased as demand for their bonds softened. The spread between German bonds and US treasuries widened. These movements are subtle, but they matter. They represent the slow erosion of the euro's status as a preferred reserve currency. Let me connect what Europe...
Yeah, Europe is done. Them new people out there, they're already done with. Their economies are through. That's why all these fucking uproars over there. Niggas is burning parliament buildings down, rioting in the streets every night. You just don't see it every day in America televised, but that shit is going down over there. Why? Because of the inflation. You wait till that comes to America. Shit, you think everything's cool, so cheap. Well, get that. They thought themselves to be in good case.
Oh, I brought that up. Melissa.
Because real soon, shit, compared to what the prices that are coming, it's cheap right now. Yeah, even though people are complaining about the price of meat and this and that's gonna be that's cheap compared to what's about to happen.
Yeah, because you're still able to go to the store, purchase it, get you some gas, still able to go to work and stuff like that. But the time coming to where, hey, that's getting ready to be eradicated.
You're gonna need a UBI just to pay for your basic necessities, and then you're still gonna have to go to work to get some more food on the, because you're gonna get the bare minimum with that UBI just to keep a dear nigga alive.
Fractions on fractions.
Yep. And then you're gonna get lab grown meat if you're not already.
EC bugs.
Because you're not gonna be able to afford shit. You ain't going out to eat Friday night.
Mm-mm.
None of that. All that's about to come to an end, and you either got it or you don't.
God, it's the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth.
Yep, it's still cheap right now compared to what you're gonna be paying in these last days. Shit.
It reads on. It says that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
Yeah, that's right. Still go out downtown, take the wife and kids to walk around, because that's a free activity. You know, you don't want to spend the money. You just go down to the Riverwalk and just, you know, get them tired, get the kids tired. But they think they're in good case still, though.
Yeah, you see them. You go to the different the little different parks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I take my son, go to the park and go walk the little preserves. Pay like maybe $2 here and there. All right, you see them, they all happy and shit. But a lot of those people, man, hey, they going through it right now. They broke. They can't keep going out to what's that? Disney World.
Yeah, Disney World.
Yeah, all that shit.
That shit like $300 for a ticket now, probably. Shit.
Yeah, they probably finna crash that shit.
Oh yeah, they only got it open because they're willing to lose money because kids go missing. You know,
that's a big business.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
Because it reads on back in 2nd Ezra 16 and 21. It says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth."
There you go. So things are about to get evil out here.
Mm-hmm.
Just any day now, you'll see. All right, that's
a little bit more. Just sword, famine, and great confusion.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty much the point of the video, though. So yeah, when this crypto bill comes, expect that confusion to come. When because again, Trump still got to sign it, but once the banks get the green light, the dollar is done. Bank of America gonna give you a text telling you that your cash is no good. Turn it in if you're lucky. So this is the same chat we've been on. I think we ended off over here. Oh no, we ended up a little higher than that, but I'll skip some parts. So I put in the title of a video, or the title of a website. Ripple takes Japan by storm. Major banks power up XRP ledger adoption, which is again the blockchain we've been speaking on. And then it actually shows you the articles and whatnot. It says here's a verified, up to date Ripple news and what it actually means for adoption, institutional credibility, and turn the theoretical long. Okay, we're not really worried about the price. So I'd be asking the math questions and shit, but we know that for it to do what it's about to do is going to be expensive. Ripple's expansion in Japan. Ripple has recently signed strategic partnerships with major Japanese financial institutions. And Tokyo is a major player in the world economy, including Mitsuyo Bank, SMBC, Nikko Securities, and Securitize Japan to promote adoption of the XRP ledger for real-world financial use cases. So again, this is not, XRP is not just the Bitcoin. You niggas pump and dump it. This is going to actually be used for something. Cross-border payments, liquidity management, digital securities, and tokenization like we've been going into. Guess what? I'm going to be on them tokenizations, well, the gold and silver, you know, and other things. Let's see what else is there. Precious metals, there you go. That's what's going to be tokenized. And pretty much everything on the stock market. Everything. These collaborations are part of a broader Japan Financial Infrastructure Innovation Program, the JIF, aimed at fostering compliant blockchain solutions, which including stablecoins and RWAs, the real-world assets, through grants and support for startups on XRP-L, the ledger. So why this matters? Banks as real users of XRP-L. All right, regulated asset infrastructure. Again, they're the only ones in that position. Regulatory alignment and clarity. Japan's clear rules for crypto and stablecoins reduce compliance barriers. A key factor of institutional adoption. Okay, so.
And just like it says with the Japan's clear rules for crypto and stablecoins, That's according to what the Clarity Act is getting ready to do.
That's what it's going to do. Because remember, they already passed the Genesis Act talking about stable coins. Well, now the Clarity Act's going to give the cryptos a green light to be traded on Wall Street, even more, even not just ETFs, but just be publicly traded like that. And that means banks are going to buy it, retail. But it's going to be too late. This is not about retail side of it. Okay.
Yeah, the major players.
The major player is the actual infrastructure.
That's what's moving the markets.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be the digital highway, if you will, the digital bridge to tie all the currencies of the world together.
Right.
It says it shows real institution integration, not just pilot projects. Yeah, this isn't a fucking trial run at this point. They're done. They're past the testing phase, really, worldwide. Japanese banks and financial firms have historically been amongst Ripple's strongest partners, boosting credibility for future bank integrations globally. The XRPL initiative dovetails with other efforts, Europe's tax integration and Ripple's global banking connectivity. So this is a worldwide web that's being formed to tie all the currencies together. Doesn't matter what. And again, that's the whole point of it. Digital money, doesn't matter what they call it, is going to all be tied through this digital bridge right here. The ledger. Suggesting more regulatory. Okay, let me skip through all these. Yeah, this is the prices and shit. But there's another one. I skipped that one. Get to the good. Okay. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I forgot what article I read it off of, but I just copied and pasted it. And it says Ripple has spent the past few years trying to turn a once dismissed token. Yeah, because this shit was less than 3 cents, less than 1 cent at one point.
Oh, yeah.
It says, and now what is it right now? $2, $1.99.
Last time I checked, like $2.
So it's still 202.
It went up.
Yeah, it's up 8% today. Better catch the train. The train's gonna leave. You ain't gonna get no little horn honking and let you know. They say so. Yeah, because that's what. Yeah, still got $2. That shit. Because people don't understand what it is.
Yeah, they undermine it.
They don't have no idea about the infrastructure and the railroad, the digital rails that been set up. But it says once dismissed token into the backbone of a new cross-border financial stack, a shift some commentators now frame as a 180 billion scale reinvention of value flow. The company is no longer pitching only faster payments. It is trying to reposition XRP as infrastructure for central banks, tokenized assets like gold and silver, and compliant digital securities. And guess what? It's gonna be the new messaging system too. ISO, what is it? ISO
ISO 222.
Guess what? It's all tied to this.
All tied.
It says, I see that pivot as the real story. Okay, so it says your framing is actually the most intellectually honest way to look at Ripple XRP right now, and it's cut through both maximalist hype. So it says, okay, let me just keep down. You're right. This is not a payment story anymore. Ripple's early pitch. And again, we're reading this is because this is literally, if you haven't got the concept down yet, this is literally about to tie every currency on the planet together. Doesn't matter what you can pay. You're gonna be able to pay if you got USD coin or USDC, stable coin. You could pay a nigga in Botswana, and he can have the Botswana stable coin, and you could actually interact with him with no problem. You don't need to go to the airport and transfer your money. No. You don't need none of that. You're just gonna shoot. And the money's going to be converted for you instantly. It says Ripple early. This is their early pitch. Faster, cheaper cross-border payments was not enough to justify long-term systematic relevance. Yeah, because they didn't want to. They didn't want the hype, but they still been working behind the scenes, setting up with all these banks worldwide, right? So you don't think they've sat down and talked with each other of how high this got to go for it to do this? They know $2 ain't it. Okay. It's just basic math. Competes directly with Swift upgrades, gets undercut by stablecoins, doesn't require XRP at scale. What changed? And yeah, that was the original narrative behind it. What changed and what you correctly identified is the pivot to infrastructure. XRP as plumbing, not a product. See, it's a plumbing system. This includes central bank adjacent settlements, tokenized assets, RWAs, securities and funds. This is what people trade in Wall Street and all that, where billions of trillions of money move through. Interoperability between closed systems, that's a completely different value proposition. Let me skip a little bit of this. See, so the repositioning you call once dismissed, that's accurate. The problem XRP had pre-minted supply, 100 billion, which some of that's already gone done away with, never going to be seen the light of day. Legal uncertainty, retail speculation after association with Ripple, the company. But guess what? XRP don't need Ripple. Ripple could, the nigga that the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garnton, said a couple days ago, XRP don't need Ripple. Ripple could go away tomorrow. The ledger, XRP ledger is already there. XRP already exists. Ripple is just the company that is the ones that have been establishing it around the world. They're getting the Ripple, the CEO. They ain't got a nigga that get, that just work a low level entry job there. Yeah, there's fucking CEOs, people, government officials, work for the feds. We brought it out, episode 1, I believe. But these niggas, XRP don't need Ripple. So he said if we could go away tomorrow, XRP will be perfectly fine.
Solid foundation.
Yeah, and maybe that's what they will do. Shit, just this a little. The company don't exist no more.
It was just a face.
Yeah, but you're still, everybody's still getting. The bank's still gonna be using the ledger. It says, and a lot of the people that work for Ripple, I know 2 of them for sure. They were creators of XRP. XRP was created in 2012, I think, and then later Ripple came a company. But that troll looking nigga, he just retired. He stepped down.
Yeah.
I wonder why. His job is done. he did his job. Now he gotta do what he gotta do. Mm-hmm. So it says instead of buy XRP because price go up, which why not? Shit. But here is the new pitch: is XRP is a neutral liquidity instrument used transiently at scale under regulation. That's why you see the emphasis on ODL or open desk liquidity or some shit like that.
Oh no, on-demand
liquidity. Yeah. Regulated custody, tokenized security, central bank friendly language. So all the central banks worldwide can make their own stable coin, and then you can use XRP to transfer it all. Market structure compliance. This is not retail marketing; it's institutional positioning. So that's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. All right. There you go. Ripple is competing against all them, but nothing comes on its level though. Mm-hmm. XRP's challenge. Okay, blah blah blah. Keep going. Okay, just rephrasing. Okay, yeah. It says a clean way to state what you're saying. Ripple is attempting to convert XRP from a controversial crypto asset into a systematically relevant liquidity primitive, not by replacing money, but by routing value across regulated financial systems. So you see, it's not going to be the money. It's going to be what moves the money. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't it? So if the banks are going to be holding this, because they're not going to buy it to sell it, they're going to hold it because they're going to be using it on the ledger, and it's going to be, it has to have a value.
It's made for many uses.
Exactly. Yeah. The market cap got to be high enough to deal with all these transactions.
Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of money flowing through it.
Yep, instantly too.
All day.
All day. Yep. Okay, so next thing. Okay, this is what we brought out earlier. The COMEX rule 589. It tries to tie it to the little cartoon shit, but it pretty much just breaks it down again. We already read what it does, but I'll read this part. Important clarification: there is no official link between COMEX rule 589 and cryptocurrencies like XRP. I didn't say that, but anyway, it says it would magically trigger silver price spikes or back XRP. Many of the online discussions. Okay, hold on, that's not it. No, I'm gonna go move past the XRP. I just want to.
No, I said something about silver, I thought.
Yeah, it's just gonna mention. Okay. Because it keeps mentioning XRP. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much explaining it again, but yeah, it's just pretty much. Well, I'll read a little bit so people can understand. Okay, no, that's 589 now. See, I don't know. See, there's the theoretical stuff. Comments. There's a symbol of legacy market. No. I guess the next one. Micro stress. Okay, I actually, because how would that affect? Maybe it's the next question. Hold on. It might be the next question. Yeah, COMEX Rule 589 is a futures market rule governing price fluctuation limits on certain metal contracts like silver. It's designed for orderly markets, not speculative price rockets. And that's it's supposed to order the market, but that's why it's going to be triggered. Link Rule 589 in China stopping silver exports, and how this is it. How could it help? How could XRP help solve the issues? below, you want to read it out a little bit?
I'll read it. Which one?
You started. You started one for me.
It says the point one. It says start with the problem. Silver stress is liquidity problem, not just a commodity problem. Then it says China restricting silver exports. China is a major processor and exporter of silver used in electronics, solar panels, defense, and industrial supply chains. When China restricts exports, physical silver supply tightens.
Mm-hmm. That's why the price is going up. Well, this is the next one there.
It says price volatility increases.
That's why it's going to be unstable. People are going to end up losing a lot of money trying to trade it. It's going to be a chaotic market, or just go crash overnight. Because that's it's the shit they're getting on the exchange. That's paper silver. It's not real. It's not the actual supply, physical supply they got. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like me, I can go trade silver. Yep. I can make some money in USD, but I don't have the actual silver in my hand. So that's what a lot of people are going to lose out. People that's still going to the stores to try to buy some of those different coins, it really don't matter because everything's getting ready to be tokenized.
Exactly. You're going to have to see, and that's the shit. You're going to have to barter with it. Yeah. That's the only thing you'll be able to do with it, because the banks are going to be doing the tokenization. So you'd have to give your gold to the bank if you want it to exist and have value, or so you can sell it. Like, you ain't gonna go to the pawn shop. They're gonna give you some cash. They're gonna be like, nah, man, we give you. They're gonna take it, and if they do they're gonna give you some crypto, stable coin for it. But then you just lost your gold.
Yeah, worth that price.
Exactly. Yeah. But then they're gonna take it, and it's got to be tokenized if you want to. Which again, that's gonna be the bartering system until people don't want to take that no more.
Exactly.
What the fuck I'm gonna do with that gold, boy? Shit, can't go to Walmart with it.
Can't eat with it. The next point, it says paper versus physical silver divergence worsens.
Yeah.
It says settlement.
You either got it or you don't.
It says settlement risk rises. Who can actually deliver metal and when?
Exactly.
This creates stress across futures, spot, and cross-border trade settlement, especially for countries and firms that rely on Chinese silver flows. What? You know the COMEX?
Where do you see that?
No, the next one.
Oh, yeah, kind of. That's fine.
Point two, it says, what COMEX Rule 589 actually signals in this context? It says, impose price fluctuation limits, pause or control trading when volatility becomes disorderly.
And that's what they're going to do that on the regular market and the crypto market. You're not going to be able, they're just going to freeze up all the exchanges.
They'll just stop it.
Yep. Oh, they're going to give you a reason. When you can't do shit with your money. This is on the cold stores, but a lot of that's what causes the economy to crash. This shit's gonna, and the prices, the housing market, the AI bubble, all this shit is gonna start collapsing, and people are gonna get foreclosed, and businesses gonna go out of business. The robots gonna take over your jobs. It's about, this is just another catalyst, though, to it.
To dismantle the old system,
exactly.
To bring in a new one.
Yep.
It says prevent cascading failures in future settlement.
Which this is what this rule's for, the traditional system.
That's right. It says in normal times, this is just risk management. In stressed commodity environments like silver, like a supply silver shop, Rule 589 becomes pressure valve that reveals a deeper issue.
Exactly. So that's the rule was made for what's about to happen.
Because they know this shit gonna go wild.
So it makes sense why XRP would be using this number though.
Damn. It says legacy commodity markets.
Because that's what's gonna bring XRP in for the use. Once this pressure valve goes, which is the rule 589, then the XRP got the solution.
To control it.
Yep.
It says legacy commodity markets rely on time delayed, siloed, and is that
opaque?
opaque
something like that.
Settlement systems. It says when supply tightens, future markets can gap. Yep. It says physical delivery becomes uncertainty.
You ain't never getting no silver and gold. Shit. Yeah. You just got a piece of paper that say you got some.
Yeah, because I noticed that, like, you know, when you trade, when you go to, let's say it's like a Friday, like today, you go back onto the market on Sunday. When it reopens, it's a big ass gap. So there's gonna be like this
huge gaps,
always big gaps.
Yeah. They might open one day a week.
Yeah, then you try to put your trade in, then the next time a gap coming in.
Denied.
Is that, or you done lost your whole account?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It says margin call spikes.
Yeah, because when they freeze it, that don't mean your shit got settled. That just means the market is closed.
Yeah. It says price discovery slows or freezes during halts.
Yeah, so if you lost money, you fucked. You ain't gonna get no chance to make more money.
You just lost out.
Yeah, it's just gonna slow.
Yeah. It says Rule 589 doesn't solve shortages; it manages the symptoms.
Yeah, it's putting a Band-Aid over a gaping wound. Nigga fucking shooting blood 15 feet, and you think a Band-Aid's gonna stop it. But again, this is where XRP. When Chad's gonna say it, this is where XRP was made for. And again, this is where what was it? Comax.
Comex Rule 589.
Comex. Yeah. We'll see what Comex stands for, so you just understand. Comex is the what does it stand for? Oh, commodity exchange. Okay, so it's a commodity exchange. They're the ones that created this Rule 589. So it should be on. Hold on, let's go back to that website. Yeah, CME Group. Okay, so let's see if you can find it on their website.
Oh, what is it you were looking for?
See, yeah, this one CME Group. That's their website. So let's see here.
You ain't typing out there.
Oh shit.
There you go.
Nothing really. I'm looking at it on the back screen. I want to see amendments. I want to see what they first created. Here we go. See, this was created 2014. Saw the earliest one said 2014. So mission cover sheet. So this has been in the works for over a decade. Let's see, they changed some rules and so yeah, they've been working, man. And again, let's see here. Go to the newest one. Let's see what the amendments they made. Because I'm sure they've had to change it over the years.
You're adding, taking some away.
Yeah, they've been slowly integrating all these other exchanges. See, depending on all rather CFTCs. There you go. We talked about that a couple lessons ago. Limits during the final settlement determination period of an expiring
futures.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not. These people are about to be through. All right, let's go back to this. Where were we?
I think it was down 3.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Soft shortage. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
You want to read it?
Yeah, I'll read this one. I'll read the next one. The core structural issue both exposed China's silver restrictions and this Rule of 589 together highlight 3 systemic weaknesses: fragmented cross-border settlement, silver. And again, that's why we've been talking about silver, because this is going to be a big factor for all this. Silver trades involve miners, refiners, banks, exchanges, shippers, insurers. That's a lot. You can cut that off by tokenizing it. Each step clears in different systems, currencies, and time frames. Stress compounds when one link, China exports, tightens. Poor real-time liquidity mobility, exactly, because it's not instantly transferred. Capital, again, somebody got to ship it. If you want the actual asset, capital can't move instantly across borders to rebalance shortages. Margin stress builds faster than liquidity can respond. Trust gaps between paper and real assets. Future markets depend on confidence that the delivery can happen. Export bans undermine that confidence. Exchanges respond with the rules like 589 to slow things down. They don't want you to sell. They're not going to let you sell it all. That's why they could just hold it at the bottom. So it makes sure, because nobody wants to sell once it's that low.
Hell no.
So it says where XRP actually fits realistically. XRP does not replace silver, does not back silver. XRP does not override the COMEX. What it can theoretically do is address settlement friction, which is the real bottleneck. XRP's potential role as a neutral liquidity bridge under stress. Ripple's pivot, which you correctly identified, is about making XRP infrastructure for moving value when traditional pipes clog. Yeah, and that's the current system. But again, this is the Great Reset. When they're talking about the Great Reset, we're literally showing you what the reset is.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, you will be tokenized. The people, we won't be. The people, the masses will be though. And that's when you take that MOTB, you will have just become tokenized. Now you're on a blockchain.
Damn.
It says tokenized silver and commodities. If silver inventories, warehouse receipts, or trade claims are tokenized, ownership transfers still need instant cross-border settlement. Banks don't want to pre-fund every corridor with dollars, yuan, euros. XRP can act as the bridge asset. Silver token, XRP, destination. Simple. Instead of nigga gotta ship it. Where is it? They gotta ship it. They gotta mine it. They gotta that can be cut.
Weeks.
Yep. Yeah. No need for direct currency pairs. Settlement in seconds, not days. This matters most when volatility is high and capital must move fast. So here's the solution to the problem that we've been, what that's about to happen to the economy worldwide. The solution is have been made. Margin and collateral mobility. During silver stress, margins call spike. Like what you see, they just hit, what did they hit? Like $84 or some shit? Or 82?
Yeah, it went up. Yeah.
And now it's back down, but
just wait.
It's just gonna get worse. Firms need liquidity now, not after correspondent banking delays, and especially in a crisis. XRP can theoretically be used by liquidity providers by clearing participants as a temporary liquidity rail to rebalance positions across jurisdictions. That doesn't change prices; it reduces failure risk. Yeah, so you've got people de-dollarization. XRP's appeal here is neutrality. See, so like the guy was talking about earlier, all this money being frozen up. Well, XRP can move all that money.
Yep.
Not controlled by a single state, which we know it is. That makes it attractive as a bridge, not a reserve. So faster payments, so on and so forth. Okay, let's go to the bottom line. One sentence synthesis. China restricting silver exports stresses physical supply. The Rule of 589 reveals the limits of legacy price control mechanisms. And exactly, they're going to control how high they wanted to go that day. Yeah. And if it hits that limit, it stops. It's closed. It could be 5 seconds. It could be 5 days. They control it. You know, and this has already been put into works. Why would they create this long ago like that? Because they knew it was going to come a day where they were going to do this on a global level, you know, so that XRP can come in and save the day. It says, in XRP's theoretical value lies in keeping cross-border liquidity and settlement functioning when those legacy systems slow, fragment, or freeze. See? Captain Save-A-Hole. That's the real connection. And it aligns exactly with the pivot you described. And then what else? I said a diagram. Model how tokenized commodities would work step by step. Problem stack. China stops. Okay, pretty much just reiterating it. Volatility control. Okay. So that's how it's just pretty much going to show you how exactly it's going to work. You're going to have a physical market, or that's what you have now in the paper market. But it's settlement risk, kind of, you know. So this is the old system, bro. This is from the 70s. The system that they're still using, Swift and all that. That's an old system. It's time to go. So the market of beast system could be set up, and ultimately, because we know they got to do a reset. And here's how. We've been saying that we're going to make digital currency. We cashless society, but now it's happening. We're able to point it out like it's a sore thumb. Yeah. You don't see the elephant in the fucking room? Shit. It says, why this creates an opening for XRP. This is where Ripple's pivot to infrastructure matters. XRP is not trying to be silver. XRP is trying to be the neutral settlement layer between fragmented markets. And the world's about to be in a fragmented market. World War is coming too. So they're going to need a way to move things around without you depending on the country you're at war with.
Exactly.
You know, it's not rocket science.
And then everything is all going digital, like you say, and then also with the AI and all that. So it has to be able to keep up with the with the things that's happening, on the actual blockchain. But at the same time, it needs to be able to move faster. And XRP is going to be the solution, man. You got to think about it. It's more than just one market.
Exactly. And they're tied into all of them motherfuckers.
Exactly.
So there's nothing else that's going to be. Yeah, you might have the lower level blockchains that you're going to use. The average people, Walmart, going to use with their their
like the retail.
Their customers.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to use whatever other blockchains there are, but the XRP will be the one at the top of the food chain because it's going to move cross-border payments. Walmart don't make on one day what they move around the world. Shit,
not even close.
No. So it says core idea tokenizing commodities and so how, like, as we've already established, this is a reality that they're tokenizing all these commodities and so on and so forth, and the Clarity Act's coming, right? So it says tokenized commodities and XRP. Instead of moving physical silver or unstable paper contracts, institutions can move tokenized silver claims settled instantly via XRP. Flow map, making it simple for you. Physical silver custodian, the person that actually holds the silver, coins, bars, whatever. Tokenized silver assurance, right? They're gonna get one token, 1-to-1 value. You got 1 ounce of silver, you got 1 token of silver. Goes through the XRPL, which is the blockchain. Boom, instantly goes to the buyer now. Now he has the XRP on demand, and then he receives it. And this all happens instantly. And then if he could do it all with physical. Now he can physically go redeem it because he actually has the token, or he can just retrade it. All that's going to happen in 3 to 5 seconds, they say.
All of that whole process.
Yes. And then this the seller could have been in America, and the buyer could have been in China. So step by step, physical silver is tokenized. Silver is vaulted. The majority of the places vaulted. Singapore, who's dealing with them? Switzerland, Middle East. Each ounce is audited, insured, tokenized on a regulated ledger, XRPL compatible, and no other ledgers it got that kind of level of being regulated so far. This bypasses export bottlenecks without violating them. The tokens trade instead of the actual metal. No shipping, no customs delays, no futures, no bullshit. Real-time ownership transfer. This is where the world is moving. Everything will be real-time ownership transferred.
Instant.
It includes views of people. So XRP becomes the bridge asset. Instead of using the USD to the intermediary bank, to the foreign exchange desk, then to the seller. Now you're just going to be able to go straight. Why XRP? Neutral, not USD. Yeah. Fast finality, deep liquidity, already integrated with banks. It's already set up, so why not use it? And so you think they're going to keep the price for $2 much longer? When the Clarity Act coming up? Settlement happens in seconds. XRP provides instant liquidity, no pre-funding, no exposure to silver price halts, Rule 589, no COMEX price caps, yeah. So it'll open the markets back up. Once this market comes to its knees, well, this is the way we open the markets back up, and you can return to your miserable lives. And people not even gonna have a choice. Most people will never know about XRP. Most likely,
they're not gonna be in position for.
They're gonna just know about the stable coin that Trump throws at them, for the UBI. That's the only crypto you're gonna know.
The Trump coin.
Yeah. It says optional redemption or reuse holders can redeem physical silver. Yeah, so you'll be able to. But for who? From who? Where you gonna redeem it at? Most people ain't gonna be able to redeem shit because they're not gonna even own any assets. Exactly. They're gonna be they're not gonna have RWAs, real world assets. Somebody else tokenized your car. Mm-hmm. The bank tokenized your house. You don't own shit, and you'll be happy. Who said that? Carl Schwab. Yeah. This is what he was talking about. Exactly. You won't own anything because it's all going to be tokenized, and you don't own it.
And you're gonna be happy.
Yeah, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna think you own it, but all you own is a stable coin. That's it, or a whatever stable coins or whatever CBDC, which is not going to exist. It's not going to be real.
Nah.
So you will literally this is how people are literally going to have nothing because everything is going to be on blockchain. And if you don't own the token, you don't really own it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then let's say you got a bar of gold, and you try to go sell it. They're gonna be like, all right, show us the token. You should own the token. If you own it in person, then you must have the token. Right. If you don't have a token, it ain't yours. They're gonna take that shit from you.
Be confiscated.
Yeah. So hey, this is you shall neither buy nor sell. You're not gonna be able to do nothing. And this is the bridge. All right, this is the road, the highway, this is what ties it all together. The world being under one new world order, one world order. Here's the solution. This is how. Let's see here. I was just reiterating the benefits of having XRP and tokenization over the legacy systems, which is the current systems, physical bottlenecks, digital claims. Rule 589 halts. And you see, nobody's going to hear that when this has happened. They're not going to, that was Rule 589. That's what's going on. Right. They're like, panicking, crashing the motherfucker on the way home, just flooring it, just smashing to the bridge. Continuous pricing would be the flip side. Settlement times, 2 to 3 days, plus seconds over here. USD weaponization, like we watched the guy speak on earlier. Sanctions risk. It's a neutral bridge with the XRP, 24/7 on demand liquidity. 24/7. Exchanges pause, you're done because the liquidity freezes. Why central banks and institutions care? This is not retail crypto. See, XRP is not a retail crypto or a retail coin. One day it's not going to be on the exchange. You're probably not going to be able to buy it one day, or you're just going to be out of price to have it. What the fuck are you gonna buy 0.00701% of XRP for?
It ain't gonna do you no good.
Yeah, and then again, the banks are interested in it. The institutions, BlackRock, billion-dollar companies, trillion-dollar companies, central banks, Bank of Japan, Bank of Singapore, they're interested in XRP. They don't give a fuck about if you know about XRP. Okay. Shit, if you don't believe us, shit, we've done our research. We got the proof. Shit. Let's see how much they bought today in ETS. Almost 29 million. And then the leverage is 43 million. So what is that? 60? Nah, that's 70 million right there in 24 hours during the market. This is what XRP has made it to Wall Street. You got companies Bitwise, Franklin Templeton, Canary Capital, Grayscale. But guess who's the big boys that are about to come in soon? BlackRock. Look, they got 72 billion throw at it. Grayscale's already in. Fidelity, yeah, them websites and retirement funds and all that. Mm-hmm. That money's about to start pouring into XRP. These are the big institutions that we're talking about. That it just mentioned in chat. Why central banks and institutions care? Clearly, they care enough to buy $70 million worth today. And again, this is public. This is what's being publicly traded on Wall Street. Mm-hmm. You can go buy XRP on the exchange right now for $2. But when this comes, that shit not gonna be $2 for much longer. Why? Because this is what the world institutions that move money, the banks, are gonna use. You're gonna use, like we said, it's a regular stable coin.
Something the government gives.
Yeah, and it's gonna be 1-to-1. It ain't gonna be. It's gonna be one coin. One USDC, whatever. While XRP, one of them is $2 right now, and imagine this shit skyrockets obviously because they're gonna need the capital or liquidity to move all this shit. This is commodity finance, trade settlement, inventory financing, cross-border industrial supply chains. XRP becomes the grease between tokenized real-world assets, not the asset itself, the settlement rail. It's gonna be the oil that lubricates the world, or the digital rails that connect everything, grease it and make it run smooth. Yeah, that's what the grease is for. Mm-hmm. It's gonna run like smooth like butter. Why this ties directly to Ripple's pivot Your original insight is correct. See, it's the spirit of the Lord. Ripple is not selling speed anymore. They stopped selling speed. Ripple is selling systemic relevance. So you didn't say local, nationwide. It says systemic. All right, this model fits central banks, settlement layers, tokenized securities, regulated world assets, de-dollarized trade, which is just what the majority of the world's going to need. Commodity market stress. Key real. Let's see. This requires. Okay, this is not cut. Blah blah blah. Final synthesis. China restricting silver exports. The Rule 589 equals stress in physical and paper markets. That stress exposes limitations of legacy rails, and they're about to be exposed. Creates demand, and they're doing this purposely. But BRICS nations don't want to use the American dollar. Nigga, it's all a psyop. It's all a ploy, that the enterprise. This is their enterprise to move to the next stage. The New World Order. They've been doing all this shit for centuries, but now they have the technology to do it. Like the brother read in the Habakkuk 2. Now the end shall speak.
Yep.
Let's see. Creates demand for tokenization. See, this is going to create. So it's saying that the China, which we know that they are restricting silver, and now we just went and showed you on their own website, COMEX, that this is a real thing. We ain't just pulling this out of our ass. It's saying that these two things combined and the stress that it's about to create is going to lead to tokenization. It's going to lead to a neutral settlements. They need it. Instant liquidity. XRP's role is not to replace silver. It is to connect a fragmented value system when the trust breaks down. That's what's about to be happening. The trust in the economy worldwide is about to be broken. That is exactly why the scale infrastructure pivot you identified. Okay. Yeah, I said I had to do a stress test scenario showing what happens if multiple commodities tokenize at once. Go ahead.
It says below is a clean system level explanation that links COMEX Rule 589 plus China restricting silver exports, and then shows how XRP-based tokenized commodity settlement could theoretically resolve the stress points. I'll do this 3 layers. Macro linkage, Rule 589 plus China silver controls. Point 2, flow map diagram, text-based step-by-step, stress test scenario, multiple commodities tokenized simultaneously. This stays theoretically structural and realistic, not hype.
Yeah, so it's just being realistic. ChatGPT just using logic, computer logic,
Just jump down to the point A. It says what China stopping silver export does. China is one of the largest refiners and exporters of silver. When exports are restricted, physical silver supply tightens, price volatility increases, future markets experience delivery stress, paper versus physical divergence widens. This is not speculation. Commodity markets historically break first at the delivery layer, not the price layer. Point
exactly,
B.
the delivery. But that's why it needs to be tokenized.
It says point B, what COMEX Rule 589 signals. It says exists to control disorderly price behavior during stress, dynamic price limits, temporarily halts, settlement protection mechanisms.
And really this, well, let's read the next point because critical insight.
Critical insight, Rule 589 doesn't fix supply problems. It slows visible price discovery when physical delivery is strained. In other words,
and that's what it sounds. That's what they're doing that, but on the crypto side right now with XRP itself. So it makes sense why the 589 is to stop the price discovery.
Exactly.
That's what they're doing with XRP right now. So it makes sense why they're using this because they're even showing you that they're applying that to the the XRP, but that's going to be applied to the market itself.
Damn.
So
it says, in other words, Rule 589 is volatility dam, not a liquidity solution. It says combined effect, the real issue. When China restricts silver exports and COMEX applies tighter controls, physical settlement becomes harder. Paper contracts rely more on cash settlement, trust and futures pricing weakens, cross-border commodities settlement slows, banks demand higher collateral and buffers.
Yep, this is that's what's about to happen, bro.
Yeah, God.
The banks are bro. They're gonna need bailouts. Remember how the banks are gonna need bailouts, and AI companies, big tech companies, are gonna need bailouts. Cause this shit is about to be through. Mm-hmm. Let me get something real quick. Just hitting on that 589. Look at showing you that this whole world's in cahoots with this Syrian new currency. Look at this, the new currency in Syria. Let's see here. Look at this. Look at this shit. That's it. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. No, that's not the one. Hold on. Okay, here we go. This one. Yeah, lo and behold, this is a new currency. Look what numbers on it. 598.
Oh,
589.
589. Yeah.
Why would they put that on their new currency? On all of them, all the dollar bills all had that number on there. Yeah. 589. This is the official new currency of Syria. Like, what the fuck? All to 200 and I'll say 589. They all got. Why would they put that? Because they know. Because who made that money? You know what I'm saying? The same motherfuckers that's about to use a digital money. So what do they know about 589? Why would they just put that? You know,
part of the new system.
Yeah, it's because it's part of the new. They're part of the new system too. Mm-hmm. Hey, fucking China man, Elamite man, they all part of this. What's coming? But Esau's the spearhead of it because it's the beast system.
The beast. Yep.
So we'll skip over this. It's just a diagram. Physical commodity, you know, the gold, silver, whatever. Verified vault, right? That's where they're gonna hold it. And then you get your tokenization, you know. So it may be the bank or the big institutions. They're the ultimately. This is gonna be the biggest wealth transfer ever, and this is why. Because everything you're gonna have to turn in if you want it to be tokenized. Mm-hmm. Whether it's silver, gold, copper, oil, your house, your gold bar, your gold chain,
everything.
If you want to sell it, then you go get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you'll be like, say you just make it simple for Jake out there. Mm-hmm. Let's say you got a gold chain. All right, you turn that in for depending on how many ounces of gold that chain is. Let's say you get 20 tokens.
Okay.
And you want to sell it? Hey, look, check it out. You go to some guy, you show him. Mm-hmm. All right, then y'all do the transaction on your phone or whatever, your chip, and then he can go. Yeah. Now he owns those tokens. He can go to the bank and get that gold chain out, and then they take back the tokens. If they even let you get it out.
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, you still own it though if you got the tokens, because remember all this information is gonna be on the blockchain. They're gonna know who owns that token, what account holds that specific token, and what's that actual asset at. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the verified vault / refinery, then regulated digital asset issuer, so that'll be the bank or whatever. Mm-hmm. Tokenized commodity on ledger, that's the XRPL, institutional marketplace. Boom, that's the transaction, and now you finally got the delivery of it. So let's skip all that, skip that, breakdowns, blah blah blah. XRP is yeah, so we pretty much already covered that. XRP is not a commodity. XRP is the liquidity lubricant. The Vaseline for the world's economic system. Final outcomes. Instant cross-border settlements. Reduced collateral requirements. No futures delivery bottlenecks. This is where XRP's infrastructure role becomes relevant. Not as money, but as plumbing. See? Mm-hmm. That's why it's not going to be a fucking coin on crypto.com to be bought very soon. It's not money.
Nah.
The tokens are going to be needed to be traded. Yeah. You know, that's why a lot of these big institutions are going to buy it all ultimately. Mm-hmm. You know, and then they got the escrow, which they release $1 million a month or $1 billion a month, but there's a limited supply. Eventually that's going to run out. But nonetheless, you know, it's not money. It's not a cryptocurrency. It is, because it has a token, exactly. But it's more than that. Just a token. It's the damn infrastructure, the blockchain. That makes XRP that important. because that's what do you think is going to work on that blockchain? It's the XRP. You ain't gonna fucking use Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. You're gonna use XRP.
Exactly.
Let's see here.
I'm sure Bitcoin gonna have its different uses
if it don't go to zero, but shit.
Yeah.
Because what use does it have? It's not gonna have any use because the government's already gonna have digital currency. The banks are gonna have stable coins. So what's Bitcoin? That's what I'm saying. Like they could just use that to drown people out. Because a lot of cryptos, if it don't have no purpose, utility, what's it serves? What the hell Dogecoin gonna do for you? They don't have no blockchain tied to it. You can't transfer anything, like use it to convert any kind of transaction.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, Bitcoin can't do none of that either.
Nah.
So again,
it just got a value on it.
It's a store of value for now until they say that it has no value. Stable coins and CBDCs will have value because the banks said so.
Exactly.
And so you're gonna be USD, but anyway, so I put it in the stress test scenario setup. So this is like a simulation. At the same time, China restricts, which really this is what's happening. China restricts silver exports. Russia limits palladium exports. Middle East oil shipments routes. Which that's why we're keeping an eye with this whole Iran situation. These are things that are about to catalyze what we've been showing you. So we're literally, it could be weeks away from this reset or days when they do this. It only takes one false flag to get things going. Copper supply tightens, energy transitions, right? Legacy markets respond with margin hikes, trading halts, cash settlement, liquidity freezes. A lot of people are about to lose a lot of shit. Tokenized system under stress. What happens instead? Commodities tokenized simultaneously. Let's say, we need it. Now everybody in the world needs to start tokenizing your commodities. Silver, gold, copper, oil tokens launch, each tied to physical inventories. Yeah, so the country is going to be able to keep it and still be able to trade it. No dependency on future exchanges. If your money was in the exchange, nigga, you done. You lost it. Settlement demand explodes. Commodity buyers need fast foreign exchange conversion. Banks avoid USD. Correspondent risk. Neutral bid. This is the exact use case XRP was designed for. See, we not saying it. Even ChatGPT is coming to the conclusion of this. Get that. Come to the conclusion of the matter. A judge first, and then rebuke. We're rebuking all you false Israelites out there saying that the mark of the beast ain't the microchip. We're clearly showing you the evidence of how that's gonna work. Because people be like, how would that work? How would the chip have everything tied? Well, we're showing you. Because it's a new system that's about to be booted up. And it all works with AI and quantum computing and all that shit. This new system, this is Skynet from the Terminator movie. It's about to go live. And everything's going to be tied to everything's going to flow through the blockchain, where there's information, tokenization, things tokenized, transactions, messages, all kind of things are going to be stored on blockchain because it's all going to be public record. That's total control. Yeah. Everything's going to have to go through a blockchain soon. Go ahead.
I think you're talking about Ecclesiastes, right? 12 and 13. Hear the whole conclusion of the whole matter.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the book of Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. I thought the other scripture you was talking about was in.
Well, I quoted a few of them, but yeah, get whatever you got. Go ahead.
All right, so this is the book of Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you listen to it. How are we listening to it? Because we're watching. We're seeing what the Lord's saying. Because remember, at the end it shall speak. So we're listening to it for it to speak. Because we're paying attention because we're on our watchtower. Go ahead.
So going back in Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments.
Yeah, that's the whole conclusion ultimately, but and that's how we're watching. One of his commandments is to watch and to warn the people. And why are we watching these things? Because we fear the Lord. Simple as that. Because we need to know what to hide from, and what not to take, in the hour of temptation. You got to know these things. Yeah. We're just showing you how it's unrolling as we speak. How his whole system is going to work together. Through the blockchains that this nigga's got, and it all ties in with his AI and all that shit. That's what's going to monitor the blockchains, the AI. That's why a lot of people about to be out of jobs. AI and robots about to take a lot of people's jobs. Again, you're going to be brought to your knees and be, at the behest of the government handouts. The crumbs they're going to throw at you people. Like, when you go to the park and feed the birds, you start throwing crumbs at them. That's how Esau's about to do to you people. Throw some crumbs at him. Yeah, and you into crypto now, huh, nigga? Yeah, here's some crumbs. Nigga, take it.
Laughing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because it's a whole trap, this whole system. Because the scripture says in the book of Revelation how the people got deceived into taking it. All right? Just as you out here, you're worshiping the beast. All right? It's going to get to a point to where you're going to accept, this mark, man, when it comes time for it, man. But it says, for this is the whole duty of man. All right? So the whole duty of man is to what? Fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and keep his commandments. All right, the Lord has commanded us to go out there and to tell you, to give you the warning, not to take this, chip, or whatever they want to call it, when it comes into fruition. All right, so don't take it. All right, just lean and trust upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. That's the whole duty of man.
Good. When the Lord deals with his elect, he's gonna have us, in roles to be able to help the flock. Whether it be spiritual powers or the Lord just blessed brothers, and through the blessings of his service, the body's be able to take care of. Just did not the Lord take care of Israel through Joseph? Through things he did, he was able to save all of them, and he came to the conclusion. He said, and he finally saw his brothers again. He said, "Yeah, I went through all that just so I could save." Not just his own people, but all of the people that was coming to Egypt for help. With this time you go to Egypt for help, you're going to be destroyed. But again, the Lord put men in certain positions to be able to work the glory of the Lord, But wait till the powers come, shit. So I'll just read this last part here. A couple more, because I'll ask you more questions, but so we ain't got to go into all that. So it says, why this matters for XRP's role. Not hype. This alliance, like we gonna make money off of you getting XRP. Shit, we're not spokesmen for Ripple. We're just seeing that this is the beast system right here. Shit.
Where it's headed.
And guess who makes all this shit? It's a bunch of devils, man. It says this aligns exactly with Ripple's pivot you described, from fast payments to financial infrastructure. See, this is the new infrastructure that's being set up financially worldwide. And what is the buying and selling? Hello. Shit.
Damn.
Well, and again, there's other blockchains that the retail side will use.
Still buying and selling, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all going to move through some blockchain. We're just showing you the one that's going to be at the very top, because this is how the world will still make international trades. Then I say some countries are still going to be able to make money, and they're going to be mourning when the whore gets destroyed too. So it says tokenized assets, regulated issuance, institutional settlement, central bank compatibility. So again, CBDCs is okay with XRP. And again, that's how central banks would deal with each other. They don't need to have the same currency. It don't need to be called the same, because XRP can change it like that. Rule 589 plus China silver controls expose the weakness. XRP plus tokenization offers a parallel solution. Final synthesis. When physical commodity markets strain under export controls and price containment rules like COMEX 589, tokenized commodities settled via XRP offer a theoretical escape hatch, not by replacing commodities, but by fixing how value moves when legacy systems slow or freeze. It's simple. That's the order out of the chaos. And it's been around for a while. Yep. And it's currently $2. Cheaper than your gas. So, that's it on that, man. It's just, this is the bridge, like the title of the video, this is the bridge for the market of beasts. This is the XRP ledger is going to tie you to the matrix, pretty much. Once people take that chip, then you'll be on the ledger. You'll be plugged in like a bug out.
And you see how they got it green like the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah, come on, man.
With the White House, right?
Yeah. No, that's the Congress.
Oh, the
That's
Congress.
the House of Congress.
And that's what he passed in the law.
Yeah, well, that's where it started. It passed the Congress. Now it's going to the senators. On the banking committee, have reportedly picked January 15th for the Clarity Act markup. It remains unclear, so we'll see. Lord's will. The faster the better. Send that shit up to Trump already.
That's right.
So here it says the Genius Act stablecoin yield restrictions, token classification, illicit finance. So yeah, everything, the infrastructure is being passed through the government as we speak to bring it here to America. Because like we showed you already, it's already around the world in different countries, good and going. You know, now it's about to come to Babylon the Great because they're the ones that created it. This is the horde that rises up upon the beast. Shit. So there you go, man. Yeah, you get ready for the Matrix. That's what.
Yeah.
The new system is the Matrix because it's digital. It's all digital, and if you're not plugged into it, you don't exist. Yep. Your commodity that don't exist, my nigga. Yo, what you mean your house? Where's the token? But hey, you got anything else?
No, I got nothing.
Nah, so that Lord's willing, this was edifying. Episode 7. Yeah, we're gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elder apostle, great millstone, who well, and much love and salutation to the elected Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.
Shalom. This is why it's happy corn rising today.